Have you ever wondered why black people love to run on top of trends and ruin their financial future for no reason because TikTok told them to? I have no real reason, but I'm gonna break down to you exactly what happened during this Chase bank glitch epidemic and how black people just put themselves in even further holes and ruin their reputation with banks. And then we got Mr. Tyrese on a Grand Prix of a, they call it a Grand Prix, the little NASCAR, a Grand Prix of a press run, but now he's going viral again. It seems like this dude knows how to capture the world's attention. He's talking about what I think is actually a pretty good, important topic. He's talking about why black people don't got hate crimes. What's good to YouTube? Welcome back to Think a Mill. Now I know you guys don't have enough time to run around and be all in everybody's business, but I got more than enough time, and I will be happy to report back to you the crazy ignorance that be happening in the world and deliver it at hyper speed to the people on this channel. So if you're new to this channel, my name is Dre. Welcome back to Think a Mill podcast. I got some shit for y'all today. So I only ask of you one favor, not just to hit the like and subscribe button. Not sure why exactly. It's just free, and I think support is free. So do your boy a favor, and I'll do you one even better. Now, if you haven't seen this video yet, it just came out. Tyrese is talking about Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. He really puts them on the forefront and asks us a major question.
Biden and Kamala Harris signed an Asian hate crime bill, which makes it beyond illegal to ever purposely and maliciously do anything to anybody in the Asian community. And there was a spike in crimes and criminal behavior in and around COVID, allegedly and specifically motivated by Trump. And so everybody started treating Asians, beating them, killing them, shooting them, stabbing them, hurting them. And then he gets into the White House, skips over every black and brown Mexican and Latino that have been getting killed like flies, and he makes it a law. Asian hate crime bill is signed into law. So whether you're a police officer or a regular civilian, if you wake up on a Wednesday and say, he's Asian, a woman or a man, let's go do something bad to them, which God forbid would ever happen again. But it is a crime bill that was signed into law that protects Asians at all costs. Where is that same fucking law to be signed into law when it comes to black and brown people? Because what you're doing is, President Biden and Kamala Harris, what you're doing is you're saying that black and brown people will continue to be disposable. President Biden and Kamala.
You know, I think this is perfect time to ask this question because he's on a major press run promoting his new R&B album. Before this election season has been going on for a while. You haven't heard anything from Tyrese. But enough said away from that. We got to get into the dibby and the dabby, if that's even a term, about why would he even bring this up? And for those who don't even understand the issue with this hate crime bill, the hate crime bill was passed during COVID because people like Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, they had made commentary on a direct correlation of crime amongst Asian businesses during the COVID epidemic, because when you had things like Donald Trump saying, well, the coronavirus came from, it's the China flu, it came from the Wuhan labs. So that had caused a lot of controversy amongst people and how they felt about Asians. And there was a lot of direct response to those allegations, and people kind of suffered from that. But the real problem here is black people have suffered through a lot of negative connotations, but have never received a hate crime. So why were they expedited to getting a hate crime first, and black people have never had one? Me personally, I believe that everybody deserves a hate crime because it'll just stop a lot of the issues amongst discrimination, amongst certain groups, amongst certain races, because what that does create, it's just a whole different level of controversy. So when you specify a certain group does get a hate crime and you don't give a hate crime to the people who feel they've been the most discriminated against since the beginning of time, it does leave open questions like this. But let's go over to the comments, because there are a few people who don't really give a shit and are gonna vote Kamala anyway, and there are gonna be some people who do agree. But let's see what the community has. So we got some people who saying he stated all facts. We need her to fight for us specifically. And then we get another person. So what? I'm still gonna vote for her. Facts. VP have the AAPI, $23 billion also. We get churches, we get church revivals, Meg Thee Stallion, and a speech from the Obamas. And somebody hit it off. She's Asian, that's why. Because if you don't know, the Indian people are from South Asia. And then we get the person, what has Tyrese done for the black community? Now this leads me to really wonder, when people finally decide to speak about issues amongst the black community, you always gotta ask, what's their motivation behind why they wanna do this in the first place? So if I take you back a little bit further to when they even passed this and give you a little bit of quotes and give you a little bit of more in-depth reason why this bill was passed, it'll probably start to make a little bit more sense to you. So this is a report all the way back from May 18, 2021. So the bill which Senator Mazie Hirono D. Hawaii, that probably stands for District of Hawaii, introduced in March alongside Rep. Gracie Meng, District of New York, also directs the Attorney General and the Department of Health and Human Services to issue best practices guidance on how to mitigate racially discriminatory language in describing the pandemic. So the bill's passage in the Democratic-controlled House paves the way for it to head to President Joe Biden's desk for his signature. It appears as if this bill was really constructed and had to be signed off by President Joe Biden. This is why he's receiving the most backlash for it. It says that President Joe Biden at the time said he was pleased to put this bill together and sign off on it. And as you would expect, not saying I'm on either side, but all 62 of the no's on passing this bill were done by Republicans. But here's something by Kamala Harris when she spoke on this subject. We've seen how Asian American small businesses have been targeted recently, in particular because of the COVID virus and what it's done in terms of our economy. Harris said, "We have seen how Asian American women have been struggling with unemployment, many of whom have been frontline workers. We have seen how the Asian American people in our country have been targeted by our vicious expressions of hate. You know, there has been a lot of attention, national attention, to the injustices that have been targeted our AAPI community," Harris continued, "and this is a moment for all Americans to stand together. We stand together unified, saying harm against anyone is harm against us all, and we will stand together in support of all communities to protect our honor who they are." So the AAPI is the Asian American and Pacific Islander, for those who do not know. But you see how there was very strong wording in there about how we have to protect because they're suffering from issues in unemployment. I mean, if we look at what's happening in the South Side of Chicago and all of the high poverty, high unemployment, high violent crime, black neighborhoods, we don't see many people speaking out about we have to come together and stand for our people and put bills together to protect those people. If you could find me a bill that specifically protects black people from crimes, from hate crimes, from the negative outlook that people have on them specifically, you please let me know. Because I could probably say there are a lot of black people who would come to the front of the delegation and say they've been discriminated against when it comes to seeking employment. It happens to the best of us. I mean, for a while, a lot of black people didn't even know about the tech boom. There weren't even a lot of black people involved in the tech industry. I mean, you could look at the numbers. The amount of people who are software engineers are significantly low, and I wonder why. But as soon as there is a crisis, I mean, I'm pretty sure black people lost their jobs during the COVID pandemic as well, if I'm not mistaken. But hey, you let me know how you feel about that. To me, it makes no sense. So when Tyrese does come and speak out about this, black people always have a negative thing to say when other black people address black issues because they haven't done enough for the black community, but somehow they can have an opinion on people speaking on black issues, though they've never done nothing but have an opinion on the black people speaking on the black issues. But you let me know your thoughts about that. Do black people need a hate crime? I heard a good thought that everybody just needs a hate crime. It'll fix a lot of the issues in the world today. But my focus is particularly things happening in black culture. But you let me know your thoughts, as your thought is just as important as everybody else's out here. Because once again, this is about unity. This is not about division.